definitely a big trigger for me. And so sounds like you're pretty much into music in general, though, in a big way.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like crazy about music.
Yeah, and I mean, I it's weird. Like, even though I mostly talk about like heavy metal stuff, I'm into everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always been into like hip hop and rap. I mean, when I grew up in New York City. New York City was the first area to have nothing but rap radio station. You know what I'm saying? And I have recordings from like 1980 that I used to record the when hip hop was just a 1 hour show on like 98.7 Kiss. And I used to record the show. I have tapes buried of that. And I don't know, I'm into everything, man. I'm into hip hop, I'm into heavy metal. These days, I would never admit it in the past, but these days I'm into pop music too. Like, I actually like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I would never admit that in the past. You know what I mean?
I mean, every music is kind of the same, you know.
Yeah, I like Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I like fucking Nelly Furtado, Mary J. Blige.
Richard Marx.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just kidding there.
I don't even know who's
he.
Who's Richard Marx?
What's that?
What song does he sing, Richard Marx?
And David Hasselhoff.
Oh, well, David Hasselhoff's Knight Rider, dude.
I
Remember that forever. I don't care how many Baywatch shows he did. I don't care. Do you realize that David Hasselhoff, do you realize his debut concert on cable came on at the exact same time that the O.J. Simpson chase was being televised?
Is that right?
Because me, my brother, and our drummer Chris were watching him. We were watching David Hasselhoff. Like when we saw it coming on, like when we saw the coming attractions, we fucking stuck the channel on David Hasselhoff because we wanted to watch him sing. We were like, holy shit, he's gonna sing. And then somebody called us on the phone. I think it was my brother Rudy, and said, put on the news. O.J. Simpson's getting chased. He just killed his wife or something like that. And then we started flipping back and forth, and then we just stuck with the O.J. thing. We just watched that because we wanted to see what the cops were going to do, you know?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, the cops in LA like those slow speed chases.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got thrown off by my wife.
That's all right.
She wants to be on the radio show. No, I don't. She said David Hasselhoff's an alcoholic. He's in jail because the daughters taped him being drunk.
Yeah, they taped him to show him what an asshole looks like when he's drunk.
Oh.
And he got arrested. He's in jail.
Wow. He's still Knight Rider.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I just think that, I sent pictures in the mail of buried treasures and humpback whales. Two famous people I do not know. I signed sincerely, Matthias Doe. I'll wait their response. Nah, that's the song I send pictures from Clutch. He says, no, he goes, oh, shit. Oh, he goes, the celebrities I adore. I don't know. I think you know what it's saying to me, Bart. Hello, you still there?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
I'm here.
What happened? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
All right, I think I got a crappy. I'm using my headphones and a mic on them.
Oh. So you psyched to go to Clutch Show?
I am psyched.
I'm psyched, man.
Actually got a ticket for my brother, too.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's weird, like, I know Clutch isn't like the most popular band in the world, but they do kick ass. It's like weird, like, they're not like your typical, to me, like rock star dudes either. Like, like in pop music, everybody's all dressed up and they're looking all, you know, fancy schmancy, I guess, glittery, glammy. Yeah, everything's all glamorous. They're definitely not glam, you know. But it's weird, like, I don't hold, it's weird, like, you know what I realized? That there's separation in music as much as anything else. As much as there's racism, as much as in other words, there's a separatism in music. So I've been trying not to be that way because, you know, because it's just another separatism. That's like me, like country, like people, like a lot of people, they always have comments about country music. And I'm not, I don't really like country music all that much myself, but I'm trying to, you know? And I don't know, I'm trying to like, in other words, I'm trying not to be a musical racist, you know?
Practicing what you preach.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now when I flip through the dial, whatever catches my attention, and that's it. Whatever kind of music it happens to be. Shit, man, I found myself listening to freaking Swami music the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. And then I was listening, then I started listening to his church music, because I was just sort of, I guess, analyzing it, like, because it sounds all chanty and stuff, and I don't know, but it was weird, I wasn't actually digging it, I didn't really like it, I was more listening to it in an analytical type point of view, like, thinking to myself, listen to this sick shit that religious people listen to, it's almost scary, it's almost scarier than, like, death metal, man, you know? And that's nuts. Do you know there's a band called Christian Death that played death metal music? And they actually made an appearance in like a big church, televised church thing with like on like a TV show.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they're death metal. I mean, the guy sings death metal style like like he's a death metal singer with the howling and the growling.
Yeah.
Singing about Jesus Christ with that kind of voice.
Oh, so they're like a religious band.
Yeah, they were called Christian Death. And they sang religious lyrics.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I realized, you know how many fucking religious radio stations there are? On the radio?
Yeah, there was a radio station around here. I think it was 105.1 or something that went religious a few years back.
Yeah, you know what I've been wanting to say? I've had this in my head all week, and I just remembered it. It just popped in my brain now. To me, I realize the best way to describe the Bible, I think the Bible is a fucking cooked book.
It was a what?
A cooked book. You know how, like, people in, like, I guess the financial industry use the term, they cook the books, like, sort of like Enron did?
What does that mean?
They just put whatever down on paper it took to make it look real, even though it's not, and even though it does make, sense. I think the Bible is like a cooked book, like it's been manipulated. Like, I think that's why I don't believe in, like, because, like, I guess my frame of mind right now is, like, I'm not going to let this book, any book, do the thinking for me. You know what I'm saying? And then the sick part is people, there's 100 different interpretations for the Bible, too. Like, it's so arguable, So what's the sense in pursuing it? If you know and believe in your heart that there's a creator out there, or creation source or whatever, then be comfortable with that. You know? It's sick. It's almost like the lyrics, some of the lyrics in the song, Mr. Shiny Cadillacness from Clutch.
Yeah.
You know, when he talks about Isaac sacrificing his firstborn for God. You know, and then the Bible it says that's how the devil like tested people, right? To see if they really believe in God, to see if they actually go and kill their own whatever.
Yeah.
But then it conflicts with all the Atlantis theories. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and he says, do you know what is right and what is wrong? You know, and I feel like, and that's been my thinking all along. Like I've been thinking to myself, I think I know the difference between right and wrong. You know, and if I don't know, it's just because I haven't learned it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like sometimes you try to do something good and it ends up being bad. You know, like your intentions were good, but you made a mistake or it was bad. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, it turns out to have like a negative outcome. Now, those kinds of things fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like accidental. Yeah. You know? But I think if you know the difference between right and wrong, that's all you need, man. You don't need no, you know, and these people who blindly follow the Bible and like, you know, think about it. It's being used as like a separation tool. You know, how many separate Bibles are there? Everything's separated. We got separate countries, separate religions, separate races of people, everything's fucking separated in our world. And I guess that's the main message, that the separation has to go away. That's the only way there will truly be heaven on earth. In my eyes anyway, in my opinion. What do you think, Bart? What's your opinion on that?
No, I completely agree. I mean, I agree that my thought is that we're all one race, that we're all, I think that it's possible that we're being taught, like you said, your friend, I think the Metamorphosis mentioned that there was like this Illuminati model, and they were promoting sort of a control sort of ideology or outlook on life, but they were doing it subtly, and also the comment that I saw in that article about how supposedly the Anunnaki or Anunnaki, whatever they are, that are this old race, taught us how to worship others who had more power. That was something that was taught to us. But yeah, all the separatist stuff and all of the prejudice, and I mean, that's a process.
And the funny thing is, there's so many different kinds. You know, there's age, right? There's sex.
Right.
There's race. There's There's musical interest. You know, you got
religion.
Oh, religion. That
Social
should have been number one on the list.
Yeah.
And would you say was the next one?
Like the social classes, you know, wealth, status.
Right. And see, there's so many different kinds of separation. It's, you know, and it needs to stop. You know, and it's weird. Like, it's only paranormal because it's not being taught as the truth, I guess. You know.
Yeah, I think that it's a matter of waking up and sort of becoming aware of these illusory separations or distinctions that people make.
Right,
you know?
And I think the people who just flat out say, "Oh, that's bullshit," like I was saying earlier, I think people like that are so comfortable and stuck. I hate to say it, but these people are stuck with. They're not stuck. They're comfortable with being miserable. They're comfortable with walking around grumpy and thinking people are stupid, and you know what I mean, and like kind of like putting themselves above. It's nuts.
I mean, the way out of that and the way out of this illusory world of sort of separation is just through trying to understand it, trying to become aware, trying to understand why, just trying to observe your own thoughts and your own belief systems, it's kind of like an evolutionary step that people have to go through to get to that point.
Absolutely.
Where they, like that guy, the video on your site says, the guy Osho just talks about how just erase the imaginary lines that separate the countries and the states and.
Right. That's it.
That's a good step to begin to see what we actually are, who we actually are.
Right. It's like and then when you look at and I finally got it now. It's called Vision 2012 on the Karinya site. On Karinya.com, KARINYA.com.
Yeah.
It's called Vision 2012, and that's where they talk about the light forces, and they basically said down in their society that nobody's forced to work, that the people work out of an inner desire to service to others, and that makes sense, because there is a difference between doing service to others and being a slave. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like a salesman. I don't know a good way to describe it, but a salesman would come back to that with something along the lines of, yeah, all right, let's say you, because it was sort of explained to me by the metamorphosis. Basically, he basically said that, he said to me, he goes, if I serve you, he goes, if I perform service for you, and he goes, I'm done, I did my part. And I was like, yeah, but what if I take advantage of your service? What if I what if I enslave you with your services? He goes, well, I do my part and I walk away. He goes, I did my part. If you're going to take it and throw it in my face or whatever, he goes, that's just your reaction. He made it so simple that, there's a difference. In other words, there's a difference between being a slave where you're, forced to do something against your will, and you doing something with your free will where you're serving them still. You know what I'm saying? Not serving them as in a servant, but as in I guess you could use the mass landing or the swarm as the example, where to me that's a service being performed to the earth, saying, here, free your mind, stop being these mental slaves, and because people sort of have to, in my eyes, have to kind of be deprogrammed out of thinking with this Illuminati type model way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? They have to be sort of kicked in the butt to be more open-minded and more, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just it's a matter of giving people information and just making them aware, and then those will changes on their own. Just the awareness.
That's pretty much it. You're absolutely right. People being more aware, and do you want to recite the message today, Bart?
What's that? You be prepared?
Yep.
Be prepared. PREA. No. Be prepared. PREPARED.
That's it, man. That's all there is to it.
Because it's gonna get crazy.
But
all these different predictions.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I was gonna say all these different predictions, but they all land this year, next year, 2009, 10, 11, and 12. So it's gonna get crazy.
It sure is. And I mean, imagine, because what they're saying basically is that this Planet X is going to come so clearly into our view that there's going to be no denying it. And they're saying they're sort of expecting people to they're expecting chaos to come about at that time.
Yeah, but chaos, I mean, chaos is expected to come from a bunch of different sectors, so it's really hard to tell. And if you remember the Sergeant Clifford Stone interview on Project Camelot, he says that there is this large object that's something like 21 miles wide that will make. Remember that?
Right.
He said disclosure's got to happen by 2016 because it's kind of going to be forced on us at that point.
Right, and see, like, right now, the Earth could be collectively working together to prepare for this event, but instead, the controllers are suppressing it because they want to see everybody die so they could, like, start over. It's almost like the movie Ants, where the general of the army tries to basically kill the whole entire colony so he could start a whole new one that thinks like him.
Whatever any of those negative agendas are, the overwhelming, answer I'm seeing or outcome I'm seeing for all of those things are just that they're not going to come to fruition, that that's not our destiny, and our destiny is something positive.
True. Well,
yeah.
You know what, Bart? I've been kind of thinking too, though, that the outcome initially is not going to be the same for everybody, you know? And I don't know. I think that possibly everybody's going to, as many people that can be brought back to life will be. And I don't know. I just think that everybody's going to have different outcomes, you know? Some people are going to be, it's going to be heaven, and some people, to them, they think it's just another scam or something. I don't know. Like I said, I think the day that the day that the earth starts changing and people want to, you know, and those motherships come to pick everybody up, I think that day is going to be a weird day because some people aren't going to get on. They're not going to them it's just another, like, it's weird, and it's going to be in a surprisingly large amount of people that refuse to go, that refuse to help. You'll see. It's kind of crazy.
But you said that those people will probably be temporarily taken away and then returned?
No, the people who want to stay, nobody's being forced to do anything.
No, but I mean the people that get on the ships, are they going to return or are they gone for good?
Oh, yeah, it goes both ways. Most people have the intention of coming back, but some people get so into the lifestyle, they just adapt and stick with it, you know? Because, you know, you got to look at it that way, too. It is a lifestyle. It's not just, you know, a whole new lifestyle, you know? I don't know. I have a lot of, I guess, I have a lot of, visions or memories of, of being on them, you know? Where it's almost like fucking, I hate to say it, like Star Trek or something, or like Star Wars, you know? I mean, I know it sounds like cliche, I guess, you know, but it's really like that, you know? Where everything's all technologically advanced and you know.
What do you think about the Galactic Federation that these people are talking about?
I think it definitely exists, and I think it's real, and I think that it's just like any other, you know. I think it has its good points and its bad points, like anything else, when it comes to a body of people trying to put together a collective for the better of everybody. You know, everybody's got their opinion. In other words, do I think I met these people? I think yes.
They say that supposedly it's a bunch of different races that sort of came together and just sort of agreed.
Yeah, it's basically all the planets that are on the that are actively on the net. You know, but it's not. It's like it's basically like all these planets are together and they're all on this internet, and you know, they basically, you know, just they trade and I guess peaceful, you know.
Yeah.
And they're all on that internet I was telling you about, you know, that mental electronic internet that they have.
The universal internet or something like that.
Yeah, I saw a couple of places they put a good phrase to it, but I forget what it is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think I called it the electronet. It's nuts, you know, like it's like your head is the computer. You know, you don't need to sit and look at a laptop. You just gotta sit in a certain spot where the thing is.
It's wireless.
Yeah, where the machine is. Your head has to be like a certain amount of feet away from it. You know.
Yeah.
And you could talk to anybody. You know, you could talk. Because I do. I remember being on it and talking to people on other planets and other beings. I remember talking to fucking lizard people.
To what people?
Lizard people. I remember
lizard
talking
people,
to.
okay.
I remember talking to almost every type of being that's been described in paranormal in the paranormal world. You know, but these were all, like I said, all the the different types of beings on this internet. You know, they all have their, you know, cultures, and they're all different. You know, but the thing is that they're all intelligent enough to be on on this net. You know what I'm saying? Like they're developed enough, they're spiritual enough, they're whatever. I don't know. It's definitely something I remember clearly. You know, it's almost like you ever see, I think, Batman Returns, the Batman movie with Jim Carrey, where Jim Carrey's the Joker. Sort of like that. Really. And I'm glad I have a movie like that to reference to describe what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, you know, when I read the reason I read you the Jimi Hendrix encounter was it reminded me of the wing people that you said would be with at the mass landing.
Yep. They will be there. Lots of them. Whole. It's weird. Like everything's gonna appear like sort of like an army, but it definitely doesn't have the vibe of that. Nah, I can't say that. The intention isn't to have any type of conflict. You know, I think the best way to put it is simply there is safety in numbers. It's a hell of a lot safer for a billion craft to enter the atmosphere to tell the truth than for 10 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's say 10 huge motherships entered the Earth's atmosphere. They're still going to think, alright, we can take them. You know, they're still going to try and figure out ways to attack it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if an amount entered our atmosphere that was just, there was no, it is, you know, it's no contest whatsoever. It's simply the safest way to go.
you're going to do what's called standing down.
Exactly. You know, like where you're just overwhelmed, you're surrounded, there's nothing you can do, you know, except deal with the consequences, whether, and in my eyes, they're going to be good consequences for the majority of the people. And the bad people, they're going to be put on display, and the truth is going to be revealed about them, and then they're going to be, then, you know, what can I say? The riot act is going to come upon them. And I really do think so. I think these people are going to be rounded up like in one sweep. You know, all the world leaders, all the people who have a hand in making our world shitty, they're basically going to be collected and put on display and read their rights and their last rights. And the thing is it's not going to be like, see, it's not going to be done by the people in the craft. It's going to be done by the people on the ground. The people who, in other words, the victims are going to say what's going to happen to these people, not the investigators. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know.
Yeah, basically, there's a thought that that any of these larger appearances are going to be a way for them to take positions of power, but that's not in fact going to happen. All of the decisions and the powers are going to be placed in the hands of the people on the planet, and there aren't going to be, these people appearing aren't going to be putting their own people in power or making decisions like that.
No, they're simply there to tell the truth and to give the world its freedom, technically. You know, almost like in other words, to me, like how President Bush says he's going over to Iraq to free it, right?
Yeah.
It's not that. That is definitely not the model of what is going on.
Yeah.
Because what he's doing is it's not right in every way. I mean, there's so many negative things you can point out about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you know, and to me, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I mean, I really don't think that going and blowing yourself up to prove a point is going to make any big difference, but besides strike fear in the hearts of people. So to me, terrorism isn't, you know, like, it's just unfortunate those countries either couldn't handle it themselves or money lets things go. And you know what I thought was interesting too in that video that we were talking about, the one with the military and saying we were beasts and all that?
What's that?
In that same video, if we're talking about the same video, they had oh God, I lost my track. They talked about the government, how shit, man, I lost my track of thought. Shit, man, I'm sorry.
All right.
I gotta watch it again. Something with the government, man. Something that they pointed out about the government and how they work. Shit, I can't think of it though. I just lost it, man. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You know what? As I'm researching all this stuff and just seeing, see if I can find corroborative information, I'll tell you some things I'm sick of, and that is people with sort of these very vague, very very happy, sort of new agey predictions for light and ascension and all that stuff. I'm kind of tired of that. I'm especially tired of those people selling books, selling stuff. They have a message, but they want you to buy books or video before you can get that message. You know?
Yeah, I agree, bro. That's why I feel that putting like putting our book out for free, I think that is an essential thing. Like, that needs to happen, you know? It should be freely available to all and not, you know, like, I consider it personally, I've considered what we're doing a contribution to our world community. I really do.
And these audio interviews are free.
Everything we have is free because it's a contribution. And some people might laugh at that and say, oh, you know, these guys are nutcases or whatever. But the bottom line is, we are, man. We're contributing to whoever's willing to take, whoever feels like they want it or need it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's no different than growing a farm full of oranges and trading them or giving them to who needs them. And I'm sure those people would give us what we need. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think at some point, like I am, because I've like you know, you said yourself you were trying to find the most recent videos and the most recent information, and like you, I think I'm a person who's gone through everything, and I'm kind of tired of hearing people talk about the subject. I'm definitely beyond the point of first of all, I'm beyond the point of trying to figure out if this is a real phenomenon or not, because it's real. Then when you get past that, you see all these people that supposedly have more information are selling that information. So I'm beyond that. If somebody has a price, if there's a price on somebody's website, then I'm just going to move on. And beyond that, no, I wasn't measuring any thought.
Listen, man, you're absolutely right. That's almost like, and a lot of times you're paying to be fooled.
Yeah, I was going to say also, I'm sick of hearing about these people who have these ET encounters where the ET is telling them, it's warning them, you know, like mankind should beware because if they continue on their current track, you know, that there are cataclysms and dangers ahead. And I want to tell that ET to like kind of cram it. Like I just kind of want to tell him to get a life.
Well, I mean,
the thing is that this is what the point I'm trying to make there is that those certain types of contact, you know, there was this one guy who I read was in Europe and he was driving with his family. He's like a farmer or something, and these ETs show up and they have like these, I think like some sort of TV screen or some sort of lights on their chest, and they kind of warn this guy and say that you know, not to continue on the track that we're on, and it's such a bizarre encounter. But it's also completely worthless because what's that farmer going to do? You know, I mean, it's naive. I think, I mean, that's not the kind of contact we're looking for. I mean, now we're tired of hearing everybody talk about it. We're tired of looking at evidence. We know it's going on.
Well, what do you think about things like Paula Thornycroft?
I think that's great. I mean, I think that she has contacts that are allowing her to video and photograph them, and she's actually probably going to be one of the greater or one of the more significant contactees.
Her book's not free though.
What's that?
Her book's not free.
It's not. Oh, she's selling it. Well, no, I'm just saying. Like, there's a clip. You know, there's a clip of her video footage of that gray on YouTube and stuff like that, and that's fine.
But isn't that a spill? Wasn't that supposedly stolen from her and put out without her consent?
Oh, was it? Well, no, she did an interview with somebody. I think it was like Jerry Pippin or one of those guys. Okay. And I think there was a video clip of part of that clip on the website. It was that person's website.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think that was probably with her permission. But I mean, I'm not faulting the people for wanting to sell the stuff, but I'm going to speed right past it, you know. But anyway, I'm at the point where, and I think everybody else is too that's interested in this phenomena, where we're tired of looking at evidence. You know, the evidence is there to have people decide whether or not they believe it exists. You know, it's kind of time to move it to the next level.
Yeah, well, but to me, the next level is this community consciousness that needs to take place, really.
it's that concert, the music concert that Mick Jagger and all them are engaging in. That's a sign of where we are as a species right now. You know. So we're at that point now where we accept it and we're open to the idea now to engage in a conversation. You know, engage in an exchange.
Right. And you know, like right now, it's still tough to talk about it. You know. You know, like so many people are so set in their ways of thinking that they're not open-minded enough.
That's unfortunate for those people.
You know, like they think that's right. The world should work the way it does. In other words, you know, as if to like that's when they turn around and point the finger at you and say, "What are you trying to do?" But you're trying to mess things up. You know, mess things up.
People that want, yeah.
You know,
the people that want to ignore what's going on, ignore all that stuff, are doing it to their own detriment at this point because they're given enough forewarning as far as I'm concerned.
But then you have the other people who do recognize what's going on, but yet they're still sideliners and they're not doing nothing about it. They're just standing back saying, "Yeah, when the hell is somebody going to do something about this?"
Well, that's part of the reason I brought up these alien contacts. You know, who supposedly come and warn some guy that the Earth better change its ways or it's going to face, you know, calamitous events. But my thing is, we already know this. Like, there's nothing that we can do aside from talk about it.
Right. And
I mean, that's extremely.
The thing is, though, if there is a pole shift, there is going to be calamity, but it's not going to be a man-made calamity. It's a natural Earth disaster.
Yeah.
And you know, shit, man. You know, it's weird. Like, to me, even like, in other words, to me, if we know this shit's gonna happen up in advance, then we're ready for it. Then we just simply need to be prepared to handle it, whichever way it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's when, like, you know, like the controllers come to effect. You know, like these evil people who supposedly want our blood because they use it as some kind of tool. That's why they like dead people so much, or whatever. Or that's why they like death and destruction so much.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to block people from being prepared for this calamity so they can see lots of blood spill in one day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All I'm saying is, listen, there's always going to be some type of pending fucking doom, man. That, but it's going to be, you know, I guess natural. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's, in other words, it's something that nobody put into effect. It just is, unfortunately, what it is. You know, and I don't know, man. Like, there's a difference between people being separated and fucking and killing each other and not even caring about those kinds of things. It's nuts, you know. Am I making sense?
Yeah. I mean, awareness.
Like, in other words, we're so shrouded with this negativity as it is that these big picture things don't even matter to people, you know. It's like, well, what are you gonna do, you know? The day the apocalypse come, I'm gonna go sit down and drink a glass of lemonade until I'm, you know, fucking incinerated. And it's like, you know, if we could do something to avoid those kinds of things with something as simple as our community as becoming unseparated, like the day our world becomes unseparated will be the day that we know our life is it's gonna be heaven on earth. To me, you know. I mean, when you look at the earth now, all those deserts that we see, those were the places that were struck by weapons supposedly back in the times of, like, Atlantis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because If you look at the Mars records, right, they said they went back, I think, 10,000 or 15, a five-digit number. They went back in time, right? And they went to Egypt, where the pyramids are, and they said that the pyramids were like brand new, looking like shiny, and
Right.
all surrounding it for miles was green, lush, Garden of Eden type scenery, land. And if you look at that shit now, it looks like it was struck by a nuclear bomb, or something bigger than a nuclear bomb. My theory used to be that there was an Earth shift, right? And that everywhere that there's these vast deserts used to be basically an ocean on top of it, and it's part of the world that came out of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? But then I think, no, that couldn't be right, because there's very few places where there's nothing but sand on the ocean floor. There's a lot of places where there's plenty of vegetation on the ocean floor. So that doesn't make total sense. So the only real other possibility, it has to be that something was hot enough to turn those places into deserts. And how old are those pyramids? Those pyramids are older than the Bible, right?
I think that the age has been determined somewhere like around between 10 and 12,000 years old.
Okay, and the Bible's only 2,000 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's plenty of, I don't know, man. There's so much to question there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, in those Mars records, I mean, I'm not saying the Mars records, is real or fake or whatever, but it made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look at those pyramids now. It looks like the top layer of them came off. You know what I'm saying?
They say the Great Pyramid of Giza is at least 12,000 years old, they say. So they don't know how old it is, but they know it's freaking old.
Right. So, and again, if you look at xfacts.com, Jason Martell, he points out this huge, like, rock slab, right? That he said that they don't even have machines now that can handle it, picking it up and moving it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I don't know. It makes sense to me.
I mean,
there's an element of control and slavery came into effect. I don't know, a long time ago. And I think that I guess, Michael Cesarian says it in one way or another that, the smarter people got, they just changed their game plan for control. And it started out as a physical element of control where people were whipped and they submit. You know what I'm saying? And now it's more mental, where people are controlled by fear. Fear of the devil, fear of everything. There's fear on top of everything. But yeah, that's it. Still there?
Yep. I'm here. I'm listening.
Alright, so is there anything else, Bart? Or would you like to conclude our session?
All right. All right, well, here, I guess we'll just, you want to pick it up again tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Can we do it later, though?
Yeah.
What would be a good time for you?
You know what, I will probably be, I'll probably be here home until, probably 1.
So how about we make it for 12?
You want to do 12 to 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I probably shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to just, I don't know, we can do it, we can just do another one next weekend.
Okay. I don't know, I just feel like night, like in the morning, I'm just getting a lot of flack from my family, you know?
I know, it's tough. Let's just postpone it until next weekend for now.
Okay.
And so next Friday is the 11th, right?
Yes, it is. It is Clutch
And
Day.
That's my Clutch show, and then your show is the next night.
That's right. Hopefully we'll be contacted.
So I'm going to hope that we have something to talk about on next Saturday the 12th.
Yeah, so am I. Or maybe we should make it for next Sunday instead of Saturday, so we can talk about our experiences.
All right, let's do that. We'll make it for next Sunday.
All right.
And you pick the time. Just email me during the week, and then,
no, we'll do 10 o'clock Sunday.
Okay. You're not going to be hungover.
No, I mean, I can do 10 o'clock. I mean, I don't know, and I'm like I said, you know, I just don't want to my kids keep complaining to me and stuff, so I'm just trying to like appease them a little bit.
That's understandable. That's fine. All right, so we'll say next Sunday at 10.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man. Sounds good to me. What song should I end the show with? I don't have that many, but ones I've already used, basically.
Let's see.
And I have a couple of Matrix things.
Trying to look at the songs you sent me. You could do the only ones that I see here are Animal Farm and Everything Ends.
All right, which one?
How about something loud? Everything Ends.
All right, Bart. So I will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You too.
All right, get laid.
And everybody out there, be prepared.
That's it.
And rock on.
All right.
You are wrong, fucked and overrated. I think I'm gonna be sick of this UFO. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything. I haven't slept since I woke up and found my whole life was a lie, motherfucker. This is the end of everything. You are the end of everything.